I've had some fond memories of the Tomb Raider series, whether it was navigating the canals in Venice, jumping and shooting in all its pixelated glory, to the more recent endeavors exploring Lara's origins and watching some gruesome death scenes. As much as I enjoyed the reboot of the franchise, and am looking forward to the sequel, I was still on the lookout for a simple tomb raiding game with no real deep story. Just some solid platforming and mild action involved. On a lark, I decided to pick up the latest in the isometric series that began with Guardian Light, Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris, based mostly on the positive feedback that I had seen online. And while there are some things that I like about the game, overall I'm still kind of mixed on the experience as a whole. The game was clearly designed as a multiplayer experience, but being the single-player gamer I mostly am, I was endeavoring to raid this tomb solo. The game doesn't seem to penalize you much for playing this way, although it's readily apparent that many of the puzzles can be solved much quicker with a partner or two helping out. The gameplay itself is pretty solid. I feel, however, that the isometric perspective really does make platforming less than ideal, as there were several instances where I wish I had a better sense of my place in the world. There were instances where I found myself having to redo a particular jump due to the camera perspective. This, in tandem with the movement being kind of floaty, made some areas hard to navigate, resulting in my death a few too many times. Luckily, the autosave is fairly generous, so there's not too much of a penalty. The core of the game appears to be a score attack, and you're graded at the end of each tomb based on your score, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would rather have just explored the game on its own and had the gameplay drive my desire to continue. It doesn't help that you have to collect a lot of gems, which allow you to open chests with gear, but there are like a million chests, with no real indication as to which chests are worthwhile. I found myself opening these chests randomly just to see what was in there, but honestly all the items I found were pretty forgettable.
You hurry towards your deaths.
On the whole, it seems like a decent enough title, and I think my opinion might increase if I play it with a couple of friends, but right now I just feel like the game isn't quite what I was hoping for. I would recommend it for someone who is interested in a good group game, but it does not quite scratch the itch I was looking for in a Tomb Raider game.
We've brought another of your fragments, Osiris.
This is John from Infinite Lives, and at least I don't have to watch another one of Lara's gruesome deaths for a while. Or at least until Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out.
Wishes us to see.
I sure hope you're right.
Osiris had this clockwork built to model the heavens.
Set is wicked, but clever. With Kepri's powers,